as English analysts and learning what one word means. Name a less iconic duo. But we are onto the Rift, Marby. Welcome to the cast. Happy to have you back in on this one. What's your take? You are an analyst, of course. What do you think of the drafts that have been put together? And as a separate topic, the decision to bring Fook back.
Oh, I'm going to touch on this, answer them in reverse order because it's much easier for me to touch on Fook. And I think because of how condensed the split is, if you had like a week break between the end of split and playoffs, I feel then you get the extra time to readjust to ego. As is, you don't have time. I feel you don't. Or Cerberus feels they don't have the time. They are much more comfortable with the Pos Fook lineup than the Pun Ego. This seems fine to me. This seems fair. You have summer to look forward to. I don't think you can readjust to ego well enough that you're gonna beat Garm regardless. I don't even think you're beating SGB regardless. So I think this is fine. I think this is actually their best chance to make something happen because comfort can trump just better individuals and synergy rather than comfort.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, okay, fair enough.
On to the comps. I think both comps are sort of in a situation where whoever will find that early lead should set themselves up a little bit better because it feels a little bit hard to aggress into either comp if you're behind. Cerberus has a few more options with the Gragas barrel, the insects, of course, than Team Secret does, but there's just so many threats on Team Secret that if the lead is good and spread across the team, I don't think you can really truly shut it down unless you manage to remove both the reset champions, and that's kind of hard to do. Meanwhile, and Tim basically touched on what happens if Cerberus gets ahead, so whoever gets the lead kind of has control, and Cerberus does have the easier time getting the lead from their draft.
For sure. I definitely didn't disagree with anything that Tim was saying. I just think that oftentimes when you see Victor Jinx in the VCS, they end up just scaling. It's pretty good. Ooh, Yado has to try and find a way out of this. Does not have the baby cage. Was saving that to level up at 4, but does have the big baby Fook, as he will get away. Artemis in a lot of trouble. He's been ignited. He's really low. They can't fight over this crab.
Yeah, it looks like a hook has landed, and that's gonna be enough because Yado was chasing down and wanting to secure that for Fook, but with that pressure now, that's a good, easy pickup for Penguin. I like what the top players are doing. Just trying to make sure that the team as a whole doesn't really get double scuttled. Unfortunately, it does happen, and
Hero initiated this. Hero did this.
Yes.
Pos followed.
Yeah. But yeah, this move to sort of make sure it's like off the board from Fook 1 at least, it does actually go to Hero, so that is better for them. And yeah, it sort of sets Fook 1 behind a little bit. It's negligible, really, because first crabs have been gutted. So
it's still nice.
They are nice. It's a nice thing to have. But the biggest thing to come from this first 5 minutes is no summons on Caitlyn. Gank time.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, this is the thing where sometimes it can be hard to punish the Caitlyn even without summoners because we should see Fook playing around them. You don't necessarily want to take a 3v3 in the bot lane. As Team Secret, Caitlyn Lux is still just so much damage. It's really scary. But they do need to get down there because I always feel like if a Caitlyn doesn't get tower plates, it has just fundamentally failed as a pick, particularly into Jinx. But the one thing about this dynamic is we actually haven't seen this in a while, but we did see it at the start of the split where Caitlyn was considered really OP and Jinx was the 180 carry that could actually handle a Caitlyn.
Yeah, generally, I feel this sort of big snowball thing doesn't affect the Caitlyn as much, but it hurts the Lux considerably more, just with the way Caitlyn has developed over time. I think her mid-game fall-off is not as drastic as it used to be. She is still much higher spiking at either end of the game, for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think she's fairly comfortable. Her Q wave clear has been put to a relatively high level that she can fairly comfortably sit in these mid lane positions. Unfortunately, Jinx is just the queen of wave clear from the AD carry position at the moment.
Exactly.
And that's going to make it a little bit harder without some attention down here to truly bully down the lane in the traditional fashion of K-Lux.
Yeah, but so far they aren't able to do it. Penguin floats his way down to the bottom side and has just completely caught Fook on the wrong side of the map. This is going to be an early dragon picked up here for Team Secret. Sort of against the play, Yado will come down and not even spot it. I think they know this is happening, but there's nothing they can do about it. They're just going to lose this Drake. They got the Victor flash a little bit ago. We did see it on screen, but this looks like a great early game by Team Secret.
Yeah, and I really like the call from Hero to just back right the hell off. He's not lurking for a little bit of chip damage onto Agragas. He just backs off. He knows that if there's an opportunity, it's Fuquan on the top side onto him over pushing. And as they set up a freeze on the spot side, I think they are going to perhaps look for a little bit of something as a good hefty chunk comes down onto Zhu Hao. If a binding lands and they set up a lane gank in getting the Lee Sin into perhaps the brush and the alcove, maybe we can see a shift in the favor of Cerberus.
Yeah, like obviously that is the dynamic of this Caitlyn Lux lane. If you step out of position at all, you can just sort of instantly die, particularly if Fook is on the lurk. We don't have Sweeper up and won't for a little while, so I don't know if this is going to happen. That binding does land a bit too far out of range. Now they're going to try and turn it around, but Artemis walking forward, dropping down the trap line. Fook is on a ward, so this will just be a lane shoved into the tower. Another binding lands, but not onto Eddie.
Unfortunately, Ron AP has fully expended his mana, so it is just going to have to be that crash and back away. But these bindings are landing very well. Even though that last one from onto the Jinx felt like they were trying to bait something, but did not actually respect the damage that comes out of the Caitlyn that early. And ends up just sort of backing off, not really happy with that. As the Ignite does fall down again, and so onto this top side. We're seeing Pun. He's aware of Apost, rather. He's aware of the situation he could be in with those, not tracking or tracking Viego. But the back comes through. He's happy. He's fine.
Yeah, and I think both teams are opting in to just letting this top lane be a farm fest. Oh, hello! A rift rotate has happened, and first blood will go over to Yado, as Zhu Hao was sent to the baby grave.
We got to check the timer. It's 8 minutes. That means everyone goes topside. And it seems to be a bit of a reoccurring issue on the red side for these teams that they push in the support pushes in a little too far, looking for that brush, for that ward into the pixel brush, and gets caught out. It happened to Zodiac in the last series. It happens to Zhu out here, and
that was
the unseen
so cheeky.
fat man is the deadliest.
That was so cheeky. He's going to try and push Penguin off this red buff. Not able to do that. The smite is pretty good. And of course, there is so many members of Team Secret down here. But that is a first Rift Herald that can be dropped up in the top lane and given over to Artemis. They're going to go for a dive on the back of it as well. As Fook flashes in, gives him the boot. Artemis gets the kill. Perfect.
Zhu Hao just too far forward once again. And this is, he's still playing for Cerberus, it feels like. Back on his old team. And we mentioned that this Gragas pick has fairly strong wave clear, and as it sits down into the bot side, it can clear out these waves fast enough that Jinx is probably still going to get a plate, sure, but not nearly as much as they would like. I'm kind of a little bit annoyed Fuquan backed off as early as possible.
Oh dear.
Don't do it.
Oh, Eddie, you can't be dying down there. He will pick up that plate. The Chomper's keeping him safe. That was, the explosive cask was already used as well. So not the worst. It is just a one plate for one plate trade. I agree with you. I would have liked to see them just drop the Herald and just try and take top lane plates. But that's just not the read that Cerberus have. They might be trying to hold on to the Herald to use it for Dragon.
I don't think that's particularly worth it. I see the idea, but because you're swapping and setting yourself behind, kind of wasting your tempo here, you've given 2 more plates over to the side of Team Secret when you only needed to give the 1. Now there's 2 more gone over onto Hero, and it's about as difficult to push into a Graves as it is into a Jinx. It just feels like you've made a very, very poor decisions the way you want to rotate your players around, and I'm not sure who's making this call, but I'm not liking it.
Yeah, particularly with Penguin once again doing a good job. He's always there whenever Cerberus have a chance to post the Caitlyn up at tower. They just can't do it because there's always that Viego gas going out. And now they have 4 members down here. No Predator popped by Yado quite yet. Penguin lurking in the smoke. He's not going to get caught out. This doesn't go anywhere for Cerberus.
Yeah, and because they've just predicted that, Cerberus are only going to put that Herald into the mid lane, the bot lane, into Artemis. They can just cover it very easily. Penguin is just there first in most cases, just making sure that it's not a really viable option. I'd like to see Cerberus have pivoted and you still use the bot lane as sort of a lure to sort of drag Penguin's attention, then pivot and drop it in the mid. Just crack some plates open for Viger. As it is, you're kind of going slow, running out of time, but Penguin may have found himself in enemy territory. Yeah. You're muted, mate. So
I am muted. Oh my word. That's unfortunate. I don't know how that happened. I swear to God, I did see the play happening. But it's a 1-for-1. Foot going too deep there. They are really overcommitted to kill that Viego.
Yeah, and that really hurts because Foot's sitting on that Rift Herald that he can no longer summon, and that is going to probably have to be a base Shelly, which is the saddest type of Shelly. And all in all, I don't know if the Cerberus are even going to really walk away with any plates after this entire run of play. And it's fairly good stuff, but it's a nice response from Zhu, how to just flash over. Artifact had been backing away, but that sort of flash response, he's ready to follow up on his support. It's not quite the base Shelly, but
not quite. They will be able to push this in. They will be able to push this in. It should be able to get the charge up. I don't think they have the burst damage to prevent it. The issue is they can't get the gold to anyone except Fook. Yeah, Fook gets all of that, which is not ideal.
Yeah, no one's able to tag the tower at all, and that really hurts. And at least it is gold, so it's not a complete waste Herald, but you have lost so much. You've lost 3 plays on the top side, you lost 1 on the bot side, and it's just been a really depressing game of ping pong of farm otherwise. And just because of Cerberus trying to be so rigid to what they wanted to do, they get sod all.
Yeah, complete lack of flexibility there from Cerberus, which is not what we want to see. Artemis has been able to farm up well. He is equal with the Jinx, so he hasn't actually completed the Mythic yet. He'll be able to do that very, very soon, of course, as he has a Kulg on the go as well. So this Caitlyn is still very fearsome, and we don't need to talk about how fearsome a Jinx is. But overall, this is a very cool, calm, collected game from both of these teams.
Yeah, working out early even right now. A couple more kills on the back pockets of Cerberus, but so much gold into Hero. 30 CS advantage, 4 plates to his name. He's cruising right now. He's going to be approaching very strong Graves moments very shortly. He's going for the Eclipse, which is good to see. It is just pretty much strictly better at this stage.
Well, I mean, the other option is the Gore Drinker, but I think against only 2 melees, this is definitely the way to go. I like the Gore Drinker Graves, but it is enemy comp dependent.
Yeah, Gore Drinker is that's a bit, yeah. it definitely can work, but just more on a more strictly flat standard build. This is the way to go. None of this crit stuff. Get rid of it. No one likes crit.
Yeah, I don't like the crit Graves. Not a fan of the crit Graves. Ace in the hole coming out to poke Penguin. This is just a second Herald. I always hate seeing fights over second Herald. I always feel like it is never good to fight over it because it's just not a very high value objective. And Cerberus is just going to get this one for free.
So I personally enjoy posturing you want to posture for it and try and force whoever's like.
It's just what you do on the weekend.
You're not necessarily trying to take the herald away from them. You want them to sort of, you want to herald them into the pit where they have where they're stuck into a bad team fight. Or you can cross map like this if you're boring.
Yeah, this is great.
LCK oriented. But no, this is nice to see from Eddie taking full advantage of this to get that tower into his own pockets, and these marksmen on the side of Team Secret are just rocketing ahead of their counterparts. It feels quite good.
Yeah, and Jinx is going to get harder and harder to deal with. It might come down to some hero plays out of Fook and Poss, or a mistake from Eddie, because of course Jinx gets very fast, but it doesn't matter how fast you are if you're in the baby cage. And obviously, once you're in the cage, Jinx is not long for this world. But if Eddie plays well, and Eddie's had a very good split, he's been a great AD carry, I feel like Team Secret, with the way they've played this early game, are looking really good.
Now, coming up towards this dragon, has just recently spawned. And now we have Yard on the top side. He's going to be backing soon. And right now, it feels like Cerberus Team Secret are in a fairly decent position because they have everyone here first and can try and make something happen. Teleport is forced. This Rift Herald is probably going to have to be dropped soon to at least try and get some priority.
Cage used to keep Poss safe. But that is now on CD for a little while at least.
Here. He's lurking on the outside. This Rift Herald should at least get something.
Ooh, hello. Nautilus has been caught out. There's that going to be that first kill, but they try and turn it around. Poss and Artemis both very low from the Jinx rocket combined with the Victor damage. Light Binding doesn't land onto Eddie. Artifact will take a bit of a belting though. Team Secret with the health bars, they're going to get the dragon.
Yeah, they just, even though it's Zhuhao caught out of position, it's pretty much everything expands onto the Nautilus, and the rest of Team Secret feel comfortable walking up and unloading their damage into Cerberus. They can't get a kill, but they can force them back for sure. And a kill for a dragon, absolutely worth it. Losing the mid lane turret does sour that a little bit, but hey, that's kind of what happens when you give up that Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Cerberus cares too much about the dragon. Obviously, they would have liked to get it, but it's only a second stack at 18 minutes. The soul is still a long way away. They are going to be able to fight at the third dragon. That should really suit their item break points. But we'll just have to see how it goes, as the trap was set onto Zhuhao, but not triggered. Just something else to check in on, of course, is this mid lane. 2 items completed for Yardo. It's going to be 2 items very soon for Artifact. How does this play out? How does the Veigar-Victor matchup play out in team fights?
So, Yardo should have a little bit of, should have most of the initiative, I would say, because the threat of that cage coming down is very impactful. Plus, the Predator lets him zoop around and be a little bit more of a unpredictable target, where as Artifact just kind of walks in and dumps his load on you and walks away. He's very one and done type champion right now. Though he has been a little bit gone for a bit more of the CDR with the Andres, so maybe he can try and get out a second rotation. That said, it comes down to cage placement or on OP placement.
Well done there with the really excellent flash. Dodged away from everything Penguin could do. But it is still a flash forced for very little investment from Secret. Ooh, Artemis! Careful, careful. You can't step up to a Victor, my man.
Yeah, as said, cage placement is so important with it going completely wide. Artifact just walks straight around it and, oh god, what was that cask? There's nothing left for Cerberus.
Well, no, it was a wave clear cast. It was a wave clear cast. That was fine. No, that was good.
There was no wave there.
Yes, there was. There wasn't after the cask.
It was dead into the center of an empty cage. Okay.
No.
I did not see any minion.
I promise. Yeah, the minions were stunned on the cage as well. I promise it was a wave clear cast.
Okay. Anyway, cage goes wide. Artifact feels comfortable to nuke Artemis. They get full control over here. And with all this, Hero has not left a side lane. He's just pushing with with reckless abandon. He doesn't care. He gets some crunks.
Yeah, he briefly went up to just whip an ult in from the side, and then just went, all right, I've gone near my team. That is my contribution finished, and back to the side lane, where he is a very happy boy. He's now at, he's at a lot of CS per minute. He's at like 14 CS a minute. That's pretty good, Barbie. That's pretty good.
He's racing. He's fairly comfortable right now. He's got a good lead over the side boss. He's just been farming jungle camps, taking them out the back pocket of Fook as well. And this is just turning out great for Secret. They have pretty much pushed their lane pressure into small victories and kind of run away with it on a macro level, whereas Cerberus has found quite a few picks, generally just from Zhuhao slightly overextending for vision. But they haven't been able to convert those into really much else outside these Rift Heralds, and we saw at the first Rift Herald, the one that actually matters, kind of just fizzled out.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was not what we wanted to see out of Cerberus whatsoever. Team Secret have now built up about a 1,000 gold lead. Ooh, but they're collapsing onto Hero. They want to try and take down this Graves, but he's just going to try and turn it around onto Yato. Uses the flash to get away. Has to try and find the damage before the Graves takes him down. Ace in the hole from the mid lane. Will lock onto it, but with 4 members committed to a Graves, they just pull the trigger on a Baron, and Cerberus has no idea. They've just started pinging it now. 7k health on the Worm.
There's not really much they can do. They can throw in a little bit of poke, but...
Luke's here. He has smite. He has smite. In he goes. He can't steal it away. Penguin has the safe hands. Zhuhao will go down. They've got to find a way out of the pit now. Fook very low. Doesn't want to give a reset, but can't avoid it. As the Gale force forward is good. Artemis needs to start finding these auto attacks as Poth throws himself into the middle of the enemy team. They bear down on Penguin, who gets over that wall. That is 3 Baron buffs getting away for Team Secret.
Just couldn't quite get in there. They spent a bit too much onto Poth, and that's enough for Team Secret to just mosey their way on out. A few flashes blown, but hey, you got the Baron. You're just a little bit sad it's not on Hero so he can do his side lane shenanigans, but you get a great reset for this dragon, Hero teleporting in as well. They're just taking everything off the map, our Team Secret. And once again, they might lose out on kills, but they are winning on the map.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been Team Secret being much more decisive around objectives. Cerberus has been dilly-dallying, and we still see their mechanics in fights and how their team comp works, but they just haven't been approaching objectives correctly. It doesn't matter how many fights you win and how good Artemis's right-clicking is if you're just not at the dragon.
And so we're gonna just see the back end here, and it's Zhuhao getting blown out immediately, but all the damage is forced away by Artifact. This storm is just so threatening. Yato has to leave immediately. Artemis doesn't want to step up to get any clicks in, and it just sets them back. And since we're probably not going to get a replay, I just want to say good job to Hero, recognizing that flank comes down, sees Poss and realizes, oh, Yato's teleporting in, I can burst that, and just trying to turn on it immediately. Doesn't work, but fantastic. Fantastic call, fantastic read, and now he gets a turret.
Another tower. This Graves is unstoppable. He's full lawnmower mode.
He is.
It's Sunday morning and Dad's cutting the grass.
It is 2021 Worlds Flandre over here playing pure PvE. He does not want to see anyone in his lane. He does not want to interact with anyone. He's in a bad mood. He's angry. Don't talk to him.
Me angry, no talk.
Exactly.
Cerberus will trade it back onto the outer tower. And this keeps the gold very competitive. The lead is pretty negligible at this point. But with Baron minions coming in, the wave clear from Cerberus is going to be put to the test. It stands up to it for now. But Secret definitely want to be breaking open this mid lane tower. They need to open up the map.
Yeah, it feels like Team Secret just want to play it as safe as possible, not really wanting to overstep for these autos onto the towers and try and risk the option for a light binding to land, a flank you haven't checked for Fook. Speaking of which, he's going for it.
Yeah, they've just gone in and murdered that Graves. They use a teleport onto Poss. It ends up not being needed, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah, that speaks to me that Cerberus feel like they are so much further behind than they actually are. But you can sort of look at the score, like your scoreboard. I know you don't have gold in game, but you realize you have 5 kills up. You're fairly close in towers. You're not that far behind, fellas. You don't need to commit 3. You don't need to commit a whole nother teleport when you get such a perfect kick into the baby cage.
Yeah, exactly. That was really, really well done. And this is one of those interesting games where I think both teams can read that they're ahead. You touched on it. You don't have gold in game, as everyone knows. So Cerberus can look at this and go, we're up in kills. We're doing great. That is absolutely lovely. Perfect placement.
Yeah, really nice. It's just a damn shame Poss decided, hey fellas, I want to join in. Oh, it's over. Yeah, I feel you,
I mean, it's better safe than sorry.
I understand. You want to show up, you want to get involved, and then everyone leaves as soon as you arrive. It's just sad. It's just sad to watch. Anyway, Eddie needs to watch out because Poss wants it.
He's just gonna. He just whips a barrel at him. Just has some fun. But they do have the push down now. Baron has well and truly subsided, and with the cage going up, this buys them enough time with the amount of damage they have to structures to just instantly knock it down.
Yeah, and it creates a very interesting dynamic where all the mid lane pressure belongs to Cerberus. They have crushed both of these towers down, but they have no side wave control at all. And because of that, they don't really own their jungle, but they can still be fairly aggressive because of that mid lane deficit that is there for Team Secret. So not so much a player, but on the map position. And this might give them a chance. That chance to push up and get that priority that lets them collapse onto a dragon, but they don't get to control their bot side jungle. Which means Team Secret should be fairly happy about watching Cerberus on the approach if they can get in and actually set up their vision on time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Team Secret are not going to try and fight over this dragon. Based on where Penguin is, he's quite far away. I kind of like this. I like this restraint from Team Secret. You don't need to win right now. Obviously, you want Hexol. Hexol is super powerful, particularly on your comp. But you don't need to win now. You have a Jinx and a Victor. You can play another 5, another 10 minutes. Who cares? They don't need to do this. Just go Baron. This is a great call.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. With the opportunity cost of it, means that if you just let it go off, you may.
They don't even take the dragon. They're just going to fight.
Yeah, this is kind of almost the call you have to make as Cerberus. You don't really want to give that siege option over.
Oh no, this is a disaster. This is the end of the game, potentially. If they pick up 1 or 2 more kills, Ron OP going low, having to flash away, they turn it around onto Penguin. That's huge. That is massive that Penguin goes down. Eddie goes as well with that primordial burst coming out of the Vega. And now it's Artemis picking up another as Ron OP charges forward, throws out the light binding, but has to go gold. And now Yardo with the carry pants on. He's got the baby cage. He's got the stun. They've got the ace in the hole. But the Zhonya's is good. Artemis moving forward, getting the trap, getting the shutdown. And Cerberus turn it all around.
The flash for the trap is huge, and this should not result in a kill because Poss is a tanky fella.
He's fine.
It's fine. And it just saves so much. Penguin getting picked off means they can't get the resets they want, and some heroics out of the side of Cerberus win them that fight, win them the dragon, and they bought their 5 minutes, and they didn't have to give up pretty much anything. They gave up a kill onto their Lee Sin. That is fine.
That is huge for Cerberus that they were able to win out that fight. That was looking like a disaster. I loved the call that Team Secret made to just say, we don't need the soul right now. We'll get it in 5 minutes. We'll get the Baron now. But due to the teamfight prowess there of Cerberus, we get a fair fight for the worm. The dragon off the map. Timer's now a little bit desynced as well.
Yeah, just a damage check going up there, and you can see that Team Secret are punching out quite a bit into that Baron with both marksmen into it. But that's kind of it. They don't really want to push their luck especially with Penguin having to come all the way back from base. And right now, we just kind of have to stall it out a little bit. Look for an opportunity, look for a pick that opens up this Baron in a much more earnest attempt. Cerberus have been pretty fantastic in finding them so far, but they have to be a little bit careful catching a stray anchor.
Yeah, they do need to be just a little bit mindful, and they are really, really determined to keep this mid lane tower up. And honestly, I can't blame them. It gives you so much just restriction of the map, just having this safety here, that I can understand. Poss gets hooked, Baby Cage goes in. Ooh, Fook diving a little bit too deep, but he baits some ultimates out. As long as he can get away, which he does with his flash, he needs to reset quickly. But with Hex Map, he's going to be back out on the map pretty quick.
Yeah, this mid lane tower, as you just rightly said, it gives them so much defense. It lets them push aggressively and gives them something to fall back to. If that falls, they get no control over the jungle. The deep warding from Team Secret is free. And look at the damage Artemis is starting to chunk out at this stage. He's getting into that late game Caitlyn. And they feel ready for it. They're going to try and rush this down. Can they
they are. Yeah, can he go in? He steals it away! The safe hands of Penguin pick themselves up some lovely purple vests.
It's not DNK, but Secret continues to have the Prince of Thieves. As Penguin, perfect timing, completely dodges the barrel, gets over the wall, steals it, and the artifact pushing in the mid lane cracks that pesky outer tower. Now the map truly belongs to Team Secret. They can absolutely push a vision advantage to just crack open everything. The base of Cerberus should be not long for this world.
This is where your 031 Viego that's been getting flamed all game just types in chat, yeah, what now, guys? Still want to flame? Might have just won us the game. As Hero has been caught out, can't quite get away, but this is still a large tree to cut down. The ace in the hole is going to help out with the lumber. And look at how much damage he's able to put out. They finally kill him, but he's a damn raid boss.
Yeah, this man does not die. There is very little in the way. They lose a
bit for it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they had to commit 3 to it. It's just so much. He's just poked out so much damage. There's definitely not enough on his own. And just that timing, perfect. There's almost no way that's kind of luck that he times it so well on the ultimates. But the payoff is so good because that smite was definitely it's perfect. Perfect stuff from Penguin. And now the game is just flipped. It's 2k gold lead because it's a 10 kill lead to Cerberus, and they have felt on the back foot the entire game despite this ridiculous kill lead.
But so much of this gold is Graves. Look at that CS. He has 360 CS. He is equal with the ADCs. It is a Flame Horizon, and he should have a Flame Horizon because he has just been sitting in the side lane. He has been getting results. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, okay, he's dying, but he's pulling 4 to try and kill him. That's always worth it. Poss trying to turn around this engage from Zuhao, who has to go gold. Always dangerous against a Caitlyn. Gets trapped up, gets killed by Veigar. And Marby, this is not a game we're used to in the VCS. We have 10 seconds on Dragon. Who is even favored?
Kind of Cerberus at the moment because Zuhao is off the map entirely. And if the items aren't there, but Caitlyn is on 4 full items, including that Bloodthirst, and she is going to crank out so much damage if they can find a good choke point. But look at that! Hero is already gone.
Artemis! He goes forward. He has a trap going under. We have to keep an eye on the dragon as well, but it's just reset. Graves has gone down. Fook extremely low. He needs to be careful, but Team Secret, they back off. We are going to 7 dragons. This is a cracker of a game.
Yep, Zhuhao dead, and Hero, you cannot, the one champion you definitely cannot Zonya's into is Caitlyn, because she doesn't need to time anything. Trap, that's free. Look at this, 4 items on this Caitlyn stopwatch in hand as well. She is doing so much damage right now. And compare that to Eddie, who is sitting on these components. It's just not enough. Hero is all the gold, and being soloed out like that just tears the whole team fight plan from Team Secret apart. Not that they had a great one with Juhao getting caught out yet again. 0 and 6 on this Nautilus.
It's not been great. It has not been great. Let's have a look at this replay. The real hero, I think, is Artemis.
Yeah, look, it's just a lot of damage coming out from both sides, but I feel, and both sides have lifesteal, but the Bloodthirster is much more than the Eclipse at this stage of the game. So he panics, he hits that stopwatch, and that just sets up that perfect trap. And nothing else really happens on the top side, just a bit of damage traded back and forth. And when they realize Artemis wins, it's like, okay, Team Secret, we have to leave.
Disaster.
We just have to give this up.
Yeah, and I just think this is such an interesting game, and I want to get, I hate to cut you off, but I just want to get more of your thoughts on this, and this is VCS, it's going to be a fight, of how this dynamic between the top laners has gone. Because a lot of people will look at this and go, well, it's a Flame Horizon, right? But I actually think Poss has been playing really, really well on this Gragas. Do you agree?
He's playing Gragas. He's got enough. Look at him. He's got 3 items in Bramble Fest. He's got enough farm. He just needs to group. And he's been doing that, and it's worked out very well. Yes, he has no side lane pressure. Yes, that belongs to Hero. But has Hero cracked an inhibitor yet? Nope. That's fine.
Exactly.
That's dandy.
He needs to get involved in fights at some point. He does. He is a full build Graves, bar 1 slot, which will be a Guardian Angel. In terms of damage, he's a full build Graves. He needs to get involved. He needs to start actually landing it, because right now, Artemis is spiking into the late game. That's a full build Caitlyn.
It's a full build Yado as well.
This is full builds everywhere. We're at 37 minutes, and this is a VCS game where they've actually been farming, which is rare. So this is wild. I am loving this game so much. It's a real slobber knocker. And it's hard to call who's going to come out on top.
It's just, I feel at this point, from what we've seen, just from the way the trajectory has gone of this game, I'm thinking Cerberus feels like they have gained control again. Penguin is not going to be able to get a steal like last time. It just can't happen again.
Oh, don't will it. There we go. It is secured. Cerberus pick up the purple buff. Penguin going low. But Cerberus just evacuate. Well done there. Now, oh, the burst damage is lovely there. And that's huge. That's more gold, more map pressure. And we can just get a run down mid.
Damage from Artemis is absurd. 1 auto, half health Viego. And then just another one comes out. And then goodbye. He's gone. He's just dead. Just dead to the ace in the hole. They now have Baron. They have a fantastic siege composition with Caitlyn Vigar. There's so little that Team Secret can do here.
Yado flashes forward. He's feeling it. He heard. I mean, what did I say that Yado should be picking? What did I say? I said he should be playing Vega. Here he is, 5-0 and 8. Massive performance out of him. Cerberus break the base, get an inhib, evacuate safely, have time to reset, and we move to Hex Tech Drake. One team will be getting Soul here at 40 minutes.
Okay, Team Secret, you have first priority on the map. You have first dibs. And see here, Poss is more than happy to just take up so much damage just to try and delay Penguin as much as possible. And they don't want to fall for it this time. They timed their burst perfectly together. They even threw the Lux Salt in to just get that burst from Dragon. And yeah, 1, 2, 3 shots, dead Penguin. Dead Hero. That's bad.
Yeah.
They pushed too far.
That's real bad. He went way too deep. They were trying to get that deep vision. But no. Didn't happen. And that should just be solved. I feel like Penguin has to go for a steal.
He can't get in. He has no flash.
He can't get in. You just play for Elder, I guess. You have to.
Yeah, they have solved. They still have a minute on Baron. That should be enough to at least get this mid lane inhibitor. I guess not. They don't really have a wave to work with. Poss should run back and grab that. Speed it up. And yeah, this mid lane inhibitor should be falling for sure. And then I think they have the guts, they have the damage, they can just push for end, I feel.
Yeah, I think they are just going to walk this one in. The inhibitor will fall till 10 seconds left on Hero. It's going to have to be a Hero play as once again the cage goes up. They get a catch onto Zhu Hao. He'll go down immediately. Look at the damage that is coming out of this Veigar and Caitlyn. They are ripping them to shreds, Marby. And this is going to set the tail for this series. That is only game one. Cerberus claim it and give me 2 more of those.
The shreds, you say?